And now here's Rick Casey with tonight's Last Word.
It was announced this week that St. Mary's University economist Stephen Niven and a team of students will spend the next year determining how much money the Riverwalk brings into the businesses and governments of San Antonio. We already basically know the answer. It's a whole lot. But we don't have a number, and we like having numbers. But I don't believe there is a number that can tell us how special the Riverwalk is. It is, simply put, one of the greatest urban amenities in the nation, made even better in recent years by extending it up to the Pearl and down to the Missions. It may never have come to be, however, if some businessmen who backed it hadn't engaged in some electoral chicanery. The story is told in two books on the Riverwalk, Louis Fisher's Riverwalk, the epic story of San Antonio's river, and A Dream Come True, Vernon Zucker's book on the Riverwalk's visionary architect, Robert Hugman. The year was 1938, in the heart of the Great Depression. San Antonio businessmen along the river were convinced that Hugman's plan would bring the river national fame and themselves a great deal of business. Jack White, who ran the largest hotel on the river and spearheaded the campaign, accurately predicted it would attract unlimited publicity to the city from newspapers, magazines, newsreels, and other mediums. Construction costs those days were very low. The entire project was budgeted at $270,000. They needed to raise $90,000 locally to obtain a $180,000 grant from FDR's Work Progress Administration. They agreed to tax themselves at $2.50 per foot of property they owned along the river to raise $40,000, and they asked the city commission to throw in another $50,000. But City Hall turned them down, worried about the increasing tax burden. Depressed by the Depression, they had no idea how much that $50,000 would return in increased tax collections. But rather than give up, the business leaders proposed an improvement district for the immediate downtown area around the river. They would raise the $50,000 by placing a special property tax on those in the district. That required an election of those who owned property along the river and those, very few, who lived in the district. But architect Hugman told Zucker that the leaders were nervous about the outcome. So they engineered an interpretation of the law that allowed guests at the Riverside Plaza Hotel, where Jack White was the manager, it's now the Granada Homes, to vote on the issue if they owned so much property as a watch. As a result, the vote on October 25, 1938 was 74-2 in favor. In his book, Fisher expresses skepticism about the story based on contemporary newspaper reports. Myself, I choose to believe it. It fits with my vision of San Antonio's inventive politics. And that's it for Texas Week. See you next time.